Today I'm going to show you how to make a rose using the crystal candy kit, and I'm also going to show you how to make any color rose by using So Intense colors. So you can get your petals ready. We're going to mix the color by using So Intense powder and adding it to some water. That is just a bowl of water, nothing else, just water. Just mix it together until the powder is dissolved. Now we're going to start painting our petals. So you want to make sure you're not using too much water. So when you dip your brush, you see there's like water straining out of the brush. You want to make sure there's no water straining out of your brush. Rather add too little water than too much, because if you add too much water, your petal will disintegrate into nothingness and shrivel up. So just add a little bit of water. Make sure your brush is not too wet. That is the biggest problem. Continue painting your petal. Grab your fluffy makeup brush and add some cornstarch. Turn your petal around and paint the other side. Once your petal is painted, take your cornstarch and add it to your petal. Now your petal is flexible and soft, just like a rose petal. If you compare the two, you'll see a big difference. The rose petal is floppy and the unconditioned wafer paper is stiff. Take the cone you received in your kit and add some piping gel or confectioner's glue to the cone. Take your first petal in your hand. Place your cone onto the petal. Take the one side and fold it over. Make sure that your center is tight. Fold the other side over so that you cannot see the cone inside. Don't worry if there's any excess at the bottom, you can always take that off. Just make sure that it's tight and you can't see the center. For the next step, take 2 petals and repeat the process. Take some piping gel or wafer paper glue and add it to your petals. Add the glue in a V shape, only the bottom of the petal. Your first petal is going to go on that join. So place your cone on your petal and you're going to close only the one side of the petal. So close that and tape it down. Leave the other side open. You're going to put your second petal inside the first petal. Be sure to keep the petals level and not too high or too low from the center. Then close your petal by rolling it around. You can add a little extra glue if needed. You can use a toothpick or your fingers to maneuver the petals in the way you want it. Repeat with the next 3 petals. Add glue to your petals in a V shape. Take your first petal and place your cone on the petal. Close the one side of the petal just as we did before and leave the one side open. Slide your second petal into the first petal. And do the same with your last petal. Add more glue if needed. The first stage of your rose is done. You could leave it here as a bud or continue to your next 5 petals. Repeat the process as before. If you choose, you can vein these petals by placing them in a veiner and pressing down. Take your petal and a spoon. Place the petal inside the spoon and curve the edges around the spoon to form a rose petal shape. Repeat this with all the other petals. Set these aside to dry, and while they're drying, we're going to make our next set of petals. You can choose 6 or 7 petals for the next layer. We're going to repeat the same process again. You can vein this set of petals as well. Veining creates an imprint onto your petal that makes it look more realistic. Place your petal on a spoon and leave it to dry. Repeat with all the petals. You want your petals to be dry and hold their shape, but not too dry that they crack. This is a good example of how your petal should look. This petal is not ready. It's still too floppy and it's not holding its shape. This petal is holding its shape perfectly. Let's give it a few more minutes. Now we're going to attach our next layer of petals. Prepare your petals by adding glue in a V shape once again. I'm going to take my center and turn it around. I'm going to take a petal and place it at the bottom of my cone. You can paste it using wafer paper glue, confectioner's glue, water, or piping gel. You want to overlap the petals about halfway through each petal. Make sure your spacing is even. Add more glue when you need to. For your last petal, place it over the one petal and lift the other petal to overlap and create a spiral. You could stop here for a medium rose, or you could continue to add the other petals. We're going to do the exact same process with these petals as we did with the 5 petals, and then our rose will be complete.